Welcome to Midlife Matters. I'm Marie, and each week I'm joined by my friends Julie and Mindy to talk about all the topics keeping women in the middle years up at night. Today we're talking about Instagram shopping. Many of us are buying things on Instagram through either influencers we follow or the ads that pop up in our feed. Join us as we share some funny stories about our successes and failures, as well as some advice for avoiding pitfalls along the way. Let's get started. Listeners, online shopping has grown so much, and I think just about everyone has bought things online. And of course, most of us have bought things on Facebook Marketplace. In fact, we did an episode way back in January of 2021. You guys, can you believe it was that long ago? All about Facebook Marketplace shopping. And you know, the world changes so quickly. Who knows even how up-to-date that episode still is, but I bet there are some valuable things that listeners can learn, so we do encourage you to go back. So that was episode 117, and today we're going to do an episode on Instagram shopping because I think this is a land of shopping that many midlife women have yet to explore. And our very own Julie has been out exploring this untamed territory the past few years, and she's here to tell us about her adventures. Because every time Julie tells us about something that she bought on Instagram, we laugh because it usually has a funny story around it. So I got to thinking, we need to share this. And then Mindy, she's never been as vocal about her shopping on Instagram, but apparently she's been going in secret doing that too. I'm the only one that has not bought anything on Instagram of the three of us. So I'm learning.
Well, I have to say, we've got to tell our listeners how this even came up. Last week we started talking and I look at Julie and I said, Julie, is that the sweater from Instagram? And she said, yes. And she was wearing it. And I was like, I wondered if that sweater was good. I want to buy it every time I see it populate. She's like, I bought it.
And I just thought it was amazing that you each had it on your feeds.
Yeah, I had seen it for weeks and really wanted to buy it, but I had been burned before on Instagram. So I was just hesitant and I finally pulled the trigger and bought it. And then that morning that we were recording, I put it on and I thought, I wonder if anybody's going to recognize this from Instagram. Because you kind of tend to think your feed looks like everybody else's.
Right.
When it doesn't. But apparently mine and Mindy's look similar.
Yes. It was so funny. I knew exactly where it came from because I'd seen it so many times and wanted to buy it. So here we are.
So we do have some funny stories to tell about Instagram adventures today, some advice on if you're thinking about buying something off Instagram. So we think you'll enjoy this episode because we really want to see where Julie and Mindy have been pleased and where everything has gone horribly wrong.
I'm not sure I like this. Is this a chance to laugh at Julie or is this just to really learn something? You know,
it's both.
Both.
All right, well, let's get down to business. Of course, social media makes money off advertising, and it makes sense that they would be trying to get us to buy something all the time. But Julie, what first enticed you to buy something on Instagram? Because there had to have been a moment where you never bought something, and then when you did.
All right, well, first, let me say, I'm sure the interweb marketers are thinking, we found an easy target here.
Yes.
Because I do buy things that I wasn't necessarily looking to buy. But I just want to say that the first ad that I think I remember seeing where I actually purchased something was in 2020 during lockdown. So I'm sure I wasn't in my right mind at that point. I was desperate. So, but I have learned a few things since then because that purchase was a mistake. And I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
It was a mistake. And I have learned things since then. And I would say that they've all been really good purchases since then. So,
okay.
But I don't, I'd like to just say why I like to shop on Instagram because I no longer go to real stores. So this is a way to kind of get products in front of me that I wouldn't have bought before. And it's a great way to try out new things. Like I'm never going to go in Ulta or Sephora. But if I can see somebody demonstrating those products, then I might buy them. And even if I get a product that I don't just love and I'm going to keep buying, I've enjoyed it and I'll use it up. So I don't feel like anything's ever been wasted.
Okay.
But it's just really replaced shopping in real stores for me. Like instead of strolling through Target or the mall, it's on Instagram.
Instead of strolling, you're scrolling.
Scrolling, yes.
We pay a trainer to work out, and then we sit at home and shop.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, it's like at the mall, you're going to see a lot of stuff you don't like. But this way, these marketers are giving me what I like.
Julie, I so relate with the first thing that I bought off Instagram because it was a huge mistake. And I can't wait to hear your story because I feel like it may have been a very similar, if not the same situation.
Okay.
Because I've heard bits and pieces of your story and I'm like, that happened to me too. And it was during COVID.
I wonder if Instagram shopping had a huge uptick during COVID.
I think it did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So should we go into the mistakes first? Okay.
For sure. What was that first product?
I actually can't remember which was first, but they were both shoes. So I'll share both of them.
Okay.
I first saw an ad for half price Birkenstocks. Lesson learned. If it sounds too good to be true, it really is too good to be true. Because going back and looking later, no one has half price Birkenstocks. It just doesn't happen. So this was in 2020. I never received the shoes, but they did send me a very tiny, cheap plastic wallet.
Wow.
I mean, guys, on par with something you get on the kids aisle at the dollar store. And direct from China. All the receipts were in Chinese. I couldn't make sense of any of it. So they did have a email that you could address problems. So I did email them, and they said that the cost to ship the lovely wallet back was just too much. So they would let me keep the wallet, but they would refund me 75% of what I paid for the shoes.
Oh my goodness.
So that's how the scam works, is just keeping part of your money. So I said, no, I either want the shoes or I want a full refund. And we did that. We went back and forth 3 or 4 times. I think they got up to a 90% refund, So I could tell I wasn't ever going to get what I wanted. So thankfully I had paid with PayPal. And they totally refunded my money because they said they had similar they had problems with that seller before, which really is kind of disappointing that they don't just
cut them off.
Cut off if they keep having these problems. But PayPal's a great way to get a little insurance that you're not going to lose your money. But that was funny because that little wallet was just.
So the whole ad was a scam from the beginning.
Yeah. And so they get your money and then they just want to keep whatever percentage they can of it because they have sent you an item, even though it wasn't what you wanted.
Wow.
When you opened this little tiny wallet, did you even relate it to your shoe order?
No, I was like, what is this? But then the whole Chinese thing kind of got me thinking oh yeah. So my son was like, Mom, did you not even look where that was coming from? Did you not go to the website? And all that was new to me. I was like, no, I did not. So I've learned since, but that was funny. And then my other one was another pair of shoes. They were these adorable little Mary Janes with a chunky cork sole. Leather too. Well, they are not leather as advertised. The sole is not cork. Instead, the cork is covered with a plastic film that's imprinted to give the appearance of cork.
Like a sticker.
Yes, like a sticker. And so after I've worn them a couple times, it's crinkled.
Oh, no.
No.
And I really can't wear them too often because they're pretty uncomfortable. Plastic shoes just are not comfortable. I will say they look just like the picture. They look great. They're very cute shoes. I had high hopes for them. But I've worn them a couple times just to say I'm going to wear these.
Feel better about yourself.
And it's a funny story. I can say, look at these cork soles.
Now, did you even try to get your money back for those?
No.
Okay. Were they also from China?
I don't know because I tried to go back and see if I could find that shoe company and I couldn't find it. But
they already went out of business.
Yeah. So.
Oops.
Oh, and there was actually one more. So I had 3 disasters. One was a dress. And when I got it, it immediately had to go into the Goodwill pile.
What was wrong with
homemade. It looked homemade by a child. I think it was, a dress. It was probably like a front, a back, and a skirt. No details, no buttons, no zipper, no elastic. Just kind of like you might wear in prison or something.
Like a flour sack or something.
Yes. So now I see really cute dresses, and I just can't go there. I'm just too afraid to buy it. So it was hard to buy that shirt, Mindy, that we were talking about, because that kept going through my mind.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I'm impressed that you kept up with 3 fails. So we're definitely going to want to hear about some of your successes. But Mindy,
I have a lot more successes.
Have you had fails, Mindy?
I did. Actually, the dress during COVID was a major fail. Mine, I don't even know where it was from, but I got it and I was like, the color was totally different than what I thought it was going to be. So it was supposed to be this cute halter long dress with a belt. And it was supposed to be like kind of a rusty red color with small white polka dots, which was adorable in the picture. Well, I get it. And it's this awful orange color, brownish orange. And it looked like a child had sewn it. And the material was so offensive. It was like a parachute. It felt like it was, it was like this weird material. And I didn't even try it on.
Unnatural.
Yes. I don't even know what you would call it. And I was like, there's no way. I mean, I just could not believe that I got this thing. And so it immediately went to Goodwill because I looked up returning and it was going to cost so much. And it was going to some other country. So the shipping fees back I'm like, the dress didn't even cost that much.
I know. And I think it took like 8 or 10 weeks to get it in the first place.
Yes. I had forgotten about it because it took such a long time for this dress to come in that I had high hopes for. But Instagram really did pick up the pace after that because I have a lot more success stories, but that's because they also populate regular stores that you would normally shop at, not just odd one-off stores that quickly go out of business.
Yeah. So you'd mentioned you get ads from J. Crew or Old Navy or like stores you would shop in. Yeah.
I do. So I've had success stories from those.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about a few of the success stories. Julie, what would you say is like the one that started to turn the ship for you?
I buy most of my makeup now exclusively from Thrive Cosmetics.
Okay.
And I will say that the first time I bought something was based on a recommendation from a friend. So I had gone to their website and bought their mascara that we've all talked about loving. But now I get their ads. So that has caused me to buy, more and more products from them.
Okay.
So that was a success story because I wouldn't have kept trying all those products had I not seen them. And could read reviews and things like that. So makeup, toiletries, cosmetics, things like that is I've tried several brands. Ilia, Prose shampoo is kind of like a customizable hair product for your hair. And having gray hair, I'm always looking for things that, are good for my hair. You complete a questionnaire and they find the best product for your hair. And I did enjoy the shampoo and conditioner, but I've since found something I like better, so I won't reorder. But I did not like it. I used it all. Some things I'll buy from an influencer who endorses a product. Like that's how I found the Lange hair products. And now I just ordered something today because they were having a 60% off sale on all of their hair products. The hairdryer brush that I said I got for my birthday, that's from them. So yeah, I would have never found them otherwise. And I love both of those products, the Thrive Cosmetics and the Lange. Yeah.
How about you, Mindy? Let's hear about your successes.
Well, the first thing that I started loving was I started getting Kate Spade the deal of the day.
Oh.
And so it'll populate like, we had a Kate Spade outlet up in Pennsylvania, and that's when COVID hit. So the horrible dress happened in Pennsylvania. Well, then I guess I was talking to Abby about Kate Spade and wishing I could go to the outlet, but it was closed. And here it pops up on my phone. And every day, like you could see the deal of the day. And I got some good stuff. So that was the first thing. I had to actually delete the Kate Spade email because you can get the email every day. And I was way too tempted. So I had to delete that off my email list.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit harder. But also Thrive Cosmetics was something that since you guys talked about Thrive, I was like, oh, okay. And then that started popping up. And so anytime they have a deal, it pops up.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like that because I don't have to go looking for deals.
Mm-hmm.
So only if it's something I'm already going to buy. Now, the things that I wasn't already going to buy are when I get like furniture ads from Wayfair or, for like a piece that I've actually been looking for. Mirrors. Well, then it'll also pop up with lamps or small little end tables or something like that. And so I have been tempted and bought furniture pieces through Instagram. J. Crew. It pops up and I love it because, like Julie, I don't just go shopping at stores. I don't just go to the mall. I actually don't go looking for things anymore. Mm-hmm. It's all kind of at my fingertips. And in a way, I really like it because I can see what new styles are coming out, what new colors, things that are popular. And so it kind of keeps me fresh when it comes to fashion, colors, things that are trending. And of course, I love our certain, Instagram influencers that also help point to that. But I mean, Instagram just has a knack for piecing together things that you'd want to decorate with, things you'd want to wear, products you might want to use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just tailor-made.
It's like really, you have a personal shopper.
Oh my goodness. So you really have to have a lot of self-control. But if you are looking for something, it really can be a great situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I get a lot of Loft ads, and
Me too.
It's nice because it won't be spring yet, but they'll be putting out the spring clothes. And I think, oh yeah, I have, I need this for spring, but I wouldn't be going out and searching for it yet.
Right.
So yeah, it is a good way to kind of keep up with. Oh, I can see like flare and bell-bottom pants are back in now.
Exactly. Which why? Come on. I'm struggling with that one.
I know. Well, another way that I have purchased things is through people that I just already follow. Either they are a business, like a small business, or they just happen to sell something on the side, or they're an author or a blogger or a podcaster. And that's actually how I found the book, What If It's Wonderful? I followed Nicole Zukowski. She's a therapist. And then she was advertising her new book. So I bought the book from her directly there on Instagram.
On Instagram? Okay. Interesting. Yeah.
Another one that I follow is called New England Loom, and they tag themselves as vintage rug hunters. They're in Massachusetts, and they just find all these old rugs.
Oh, wow.
And they started making purses and bags, luggage, fanny packs out of old worn out rugs. Like they maybe had holes in them, but they could salvage part of them. So about the time you were buying your fanny pack from Lululemon.
Belt bag, Julie. Belt bag.
That's
belt
right.
Bag. Okay.
Hello. Because we're in style.
This one's not really a crossover bag, so belt bag. Okay. It has a nice leather strap and a leather area where the zipper is, but then the bottom part it's an old like Persian rug. It's really cool.
Oh, I've seen that, but I never knew it was a Persian rug when you wear it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so,
wow, what a niche. I mean, that sounds like Etsy at your fingertips.
Yeah, like I would have never, I wasn't looking for that. No, but I love it, so I don't feel like it's a waste. During lockdown, I did buy a lot of crafts, and I will have to say I've yet to try them. It's
They're
2023.
Really?
But I bought a punch needle craft. I bought a paint by number because it looked like a real oil painting when it was done, but I never started it. But I did save them, and I plan on doing them at some point. I get a lot of ads for craft products like watercolor papers, paints, watercolor pens, even tutorials like classes that you could sign up for. That's probably what most of my feed is, which is really cool. That's what I like to look at. It's taking what you look at, not even necessarily what you're shopping for, but just what you like to look at. And then it's kind of curating, all of that. So, yeah.
Well, I have to say, so we've talked about Chris Loves Julia Instagram page before. I have bought a lot of things through their Instagram page.
Like links?
Yes. When she posts links for things, so she'll do like a double take now. It used to be called the Daily Dupe, but they changed the name to not hurt any feelings, I'm sure. And so the double take, I love when she posts that. But I ended up getting multiple area rugs, like large rugs, through their Instagram page. Especially when we moved in our new house, I was glad I had already been following them, because then I already had this at my fingertips. It made it so easy, because several I had to return because of like size or the color or whatever. And it was exactly as promised, but the return was so easy too. So the links that she posts are legitimate sites. And then she also lets me know when Madewell is having like a huge sale. And so I have quickly bought jeans, within a couple minutes. I'm just looking at her page to see what house products she's, whatever she's doing. And I end up buying jeans. So I think that's kind of cool, because it's something that I wouldn't have known that Madewell was having a sale. I did need some jeans. Well, now I don't have to, do it. I don't have to go there because I don't live close to a Madewell. So,
yeah. I do like it. I follow a lot of home designers, and when they have their Amazon storefront page, that's really cool, because you can go and find, I love her lamp or her rug or her pillows, and they'll link where they got them. So, and if it's from Amazon, I feel like it's pretty safe. You're going to have a good return policy. And
I agree. The return policy is where it's at, and I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite thing, like a favorite situation, Julie?
But you mean like a product, or just how it worked out? You found something, or?
Okay. So I'm going to talk about Jacob's car purchase experience, because it was through Carvana, through Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And we bought a car. So I have an amazing story that I have to share with you that just happened several weeks ago. We had been looking for a car for Jacob for quite some time. Bryce and Jacob had been car shopping, driving different things, and figuring out what Jacob would want. They narrowed down what particular car they wanted, and they had a budget. Well, Abby and I went to Orlando for a girls' trip. And when I returned, Bryce came home early one day and had Jacob with him. And I was like, what's going on? And Bryce is like, hey, you want to go sit on the front porch? And I'm like, okay. This whole thing is weird. He opens the front door and a car pulls up, like on the back of a trailer being delivered. And I am stunned. I'm so stunned. I'm like, what is happening? Carvana delivered Jacob's car. Well, then Bryce tells me, he said, well, you and Abby were gone. He was like, Jacob and I had figured out what kind of car. We'd figured our budget. Like, all these things are populating on your phone because you start talking about it, looking at it, and your phone's generating those things. At the click of a button, within like 5 minutes, Bryce finds the car through Carvana, buys it, tags, registration, purchase, everything at the click of a button on his phone. The car shows up at our house to the front door. And this is a whole nother side note, but the guy that delivered it graduated from high school with Bryce in Missouri. So that was wild. And yesterday, the tags came in the mailbox. We didn't even have to go to the tag office.
Wow.
So Bryce bought this on Instagram on his phone.
Through his phone.
That's crazy.
Yes. He said, Mindy, I couldn't believe it. I have never done that. But they had looked for long enough. They knew exactly what they wanted. So, and with Carvana, you have 7 days to drive it and easily return.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that ridiculously awesome?
Yes.
That's a cool purchase.
I mean, who wouldn't want a car to show up at your front door?
Mm-hmm. And not have to actually go to used car dealerships. And
yes. Like, you have the vehicle history at your fingertips. Like, he was able to do all the research and hit buy from his phone and not go anywhere.
Wow.
That's crazy. Now we're all going to get ads for Carvana.
Listen, we're thrilled. I don't know if we'll ever go back to a car dealership.
All right. Well, Mindy gets the award for the biggest Instagram purchase for sure.
Ooh, and I didn't even do it.
Well, let me contrast the tiniest Instagram purchase.
Ooh,
Okay.
let's hear it.
I just got this in the mail yesterday. Y'all are going to laugh, but I bought dental floss.
Off Instagram? What miraculous product
This
is
is
it that they're
interesting.
actually advertising it?
In the
Okay.
world?
It's Cocoa Floss. Let me read the description. It says, with its soft, loofah-like texture, Cocoa Floss scrubs pearly whites blissfully clean. Woven from recycled water bottles, infused with soothing coconut oil and natural citrus oils. And you could choose your flavor. I think it was some kind of mint and Cara orange.
What one did you get?
I got the orange, which it does not have very much flavor at all. But I'm kind of a compulsive flosser.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of scary because I don't think I talk about it. So I don't know how Instagram knew to send me this unless it's watching me floss my teeth.
It's in your brain.
I know. So scary because I thought, who gets dental floss ads?
Yeah.
But
only you.
I did go to the website. I did just Google it.
Uh-huh.
Because they say to like Google the name brand plus reviews. So you're not getting them just from their website.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
Right.
legitimate thing. You could buy it at Target, So I did. Then I just went over to Amazon and ordered it because it was no more expensive, and I got the free shipping. And a lot of times if you buy like a subscription, it's cheaper, or buy 3 or 4 in a
Mhm.
set. But if I'm trying something for the first time, I just want to buy one.
Mhm.
To see
Right.
if I like. So,
Yeah. It is cute packaging. That is so funny.
yeah,
And those
I love it.
adjectives used too. Blissful, loofah,
I know, pearly
pearly
white,
whites.
loofah-like.
You almost lost me at the recycled water bottle.
I
I know.
I was questioning it.
want to put that between my teeth.
I'm like, I don't know.
So
So
it
Julie-
does. It's kind of hard to get in there, and it feels kind of gritty, like it's scrubbing. It's cool.
Really?
I like it. I think I'll be
Oh
buying
my
it. Yeah.
Goodness. Okay. I do kind of have a question. So, how many times do you think you have to see the ad before you decide to buy it?
That was the first time. But that shirt that you said,
Yes.
hey, did you get that on Instagram? I'd seen that for weeks. Weeks.
Okay. Yeah. I'm still seeing it.
And a
And
lot
I'm-
of times I'll go and I'll put something in my cart and
Yeah.
I'll say, I don't really need that, or I'm not sure about
Mhm.
it. I'd probably do that more than I actually buy. I'll go and put it in the
Right.
cart, and then because a lot of times they'll email you back and say, hey, you didn't complete your purchase, and they'll
They
offer you
do.
something,
They do. That was happening to me when I was buying a dining room table for this house. Is I put a table and chairs in my cart through Pottery Barn.
Mhm.
Well, I didn't buy it because that's a big purchase, and I
Mhm.
wasn't sure. And at that point, everything from Pottery Barn was so back ordered; it was going to take a long time to come in. But I started getting Instagram ads for that table.
Oh, really?
I never bought it. But it takes an amazing amount of self-control because you guys know how I love word art, especially things that make me laugh.
Uh-huh.
This is a constant theme through my Instagram page are
Really?
funny t-shirts and sweatshirts. Yes. And I'm so tempted. I had to reach out for help from my daughter. Now she's my accountability partner because I see funny t-shirts and sweaters and I have to tell her, I'm like, Abby, like, is this really as awesome as I think it is? Or should I pass? And she will tell me, Mom, you need to pass. Because the one I really wanted for Christmas was Santa running with a surfboard and it said Mele Kamikimaka. And it just it was everything to me.
Oh, I think you
Well,
should have gotten it.
I know, right? Next year. If I start seeing it again next year, I'm going to have it.
Oh, you will.
Well, didn't you tell us about an Instagram fail that you did buy that said
Yeah.
like Merry and Bright?
Yes.
Because I
yes,
wanted
that's-
this too.
Yes. Okay. So Julie and I got the same ad. I fell for this ad. It was a super cute, like bubblegum pink shirt. And in red letters, it said Merry and Bright. And on the Instagram site, it looked like the letters were thick and like somewhat plush or sewn or somewhat substantial. And I was like, oh, that's really like quality done. I love that. So I bought it and it came in. And I liked the t-shirt it was on, but the lettering was awful. It was like printed like from I don't even know what to call it. It was like vinyl lettering or something. So this vinyl lettering compared to what I thought it was going to be, and it was a thinner script, and it wasn't exactly straight. Like it was a little off center. Well, I ended up like cutting it off, and I wear it like to clean the house in. Like I love the pink color, but the lettering, it's so cheaply done. I thought it was going to be like a go-to, you know?
It is really cute though.
But it's just,
a lot of people
really
have
cheap.
been disappointed on that product.
Yeah, that's why the Marion Bright shirt really is what kept me from buying the Mele Kamikimaka sweater.
One bad apple ruins it for everybody.
You're like, oh, come on. Plus, how many Christmas shirts do you really need?
I was going to say, and these are all very holiday specific. You can't wear them much longer than like 6 weeks.
I don't know. Maybe I'd wear the Santa through the year. I mean, he was surfing.
Yeah.
Could wear them at least till spring break. Oh, that's funny. Well, what advice, if you are talking to a listener, what advice do you want to give to people who want to start shopping on Instagram?
Well, like I said before, I would actually go to the website to see if they have a website, because I'm sure those,
cork shoes.
Birkenstocks, it wasn't at the Birkenstock, store. Look at their return policy. Look at the shipping. Like, how long is it going to take? If they say 12 weeks, it's probably coming from China. And then I haven't done this, but this was some advice that I read. Like, do they have a phone number? You should call that number before you purchase. Or if they have an email, send them an email and see how timely, how quickly they respond.
Right.
Before you get involved with these people.
Right.
And then lastly, I would say pay with PayPal. They're an advocate for the buyer.
Okay.
Right.
So that you're not going to get ripped off. And this is something I just read about, and this would be probably something our kids would know about more than us. But I was just reading about privacy cards. Have you guys seen these?
No.
Where it instantly creates like a virtual card with a real, whatever, 16-digit card number with an expiration date and the little code, and they link that to the first place you use it, the store. So in case there was some kind of fraud, they're not going to be able to use this number everywhere across the internet. Or you could even make it for a one-time purchase. So there's privacy cards. Oh, no, that's a virtual card. A privacy card just masks your bank information.
Really?
To the seller. So I thought I need to look into those because I'm kind of paranoid about having my card stolen.
Yes.
Yeah.
It happens so often these days. We've had to get 2 new cards this year already. So I love that somebody's offering that.
Yeah. Now, I did read this and I don't really understand it because, like I said, I will find an ad. If I see an ad on Instagram, I'll go to the website and sometimes just purchase it from the website. But they said if you purchase it through the Instagram app, you're only giving your private information to Instagram. That somehow, it's like all your information is in one place as opposed to scattered over all these other e-commerce sites. But they said, the downfall of that is you're giving Facebook even more information. So it's kind of like choosing the lesser of the two evils, I think,
Right. I'll say one thing to watch out for is something that helps me is not to buy it so fast because you see it and there'll be this message, only 2 left. And you're like, I have to buy it now. I'm never going to be able to get it again. They only have 1 left in my size.
Yeah.
I think that the speed of the purchase really can deter a lot of mistakes. So if you do, just take a breath. Don't fall for the only 1 left and do your research and do all those things that Julie just said. And maybe even come back to it because sometimes a bigger sale will be happening. And don't you worry, Instagram's going to let you know if the item that you liked is on sale.
Yeah. And that's why I'll put it in my cart and walk away. And if I don't ever think about it again, then I'm not going to go back and buy that,
Yes.
If it stays on my mind and I think I really need this, then I'll do it. But a lot of times it doesn't. it is important to look at the return policy because I did buy a bathing suit from this company. I don't know how to say it. It's Albion. Do you guys see those ads? Albion. They have the cutest kind of vintagey looking suits. I mean, really, really cute. And I did buy 2, very high quality. Like they're great. So I bought 2, planning to return one, and the return window was 30 days. That's pretty short. I'm used to, 90 days.
Right.
So I missed that window, and so I had this suit. But I was able to sell it on Poshmark. So.
Oh, well, that's good.
Oh,
yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's brand new. So.
Yeah, well, that is good. Yeah, I mean, a 30-day return policy. Amazon, that's what Amazon has, but I really like a 90 or even longer.
Well, for a bathing suit, it wasn't in a season where I was actually going to be wearing it, So I think that's why the 30 days just flew by, and I hadn't even had a chance to really wear it. So yeah.
Okay.
So that was my fault, but just know what that time period is, so you don't get stuck.
Yeah.
There was one con that came to my mind when I thought about, well, why shouldn't I buy through Instagram, especially if it's something that I like or, everything seems good to go after I've done my research. The main con that I kind of thought about was you really don't know who you're supporting sometimes. And I love to shop local. And so I know this whole episode has been about buying through big stores and Instagram and things like that. But especially being in a small town now, it's become more and more important to me to be able to support someone that I know. So that's kind of the one thing that keeps me from buying through online sites, is just that I want to know that I'm supporting a family or a person that's in my community. So I will say that the one con is you can't really shop local if you're buying through Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unless you're buying, it's not local, but at least if you're shopping on Etsy, it is a small business,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, this is great advice for listeners. I think all of us are going to end up, just probably by listening to this podcast, getting ads galore on your Instagram. Share with us if you end up buying something, or if you have any experiences that you would like to share. You can find us at Midlife Matters Podcast on Instagram, or you can email us at midlifematterspodcast@gmail.com. All right. Well, let's move into I'm a Fan. All right, Julie, what are you a fan of this week?
Well, I'm a fan of a movie that we saw this last weekend called The Jesus Revolution. And it's the story of a national spiritual awakening that took place in Southern California in the 70s. And it was in a community of teenage hippies. And it was just amazing. I did not remember that movement, when it actually happened, because I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like in a lot of ways, I was a beneficiary of that movement growing up in the 70s and early 80s. I remember the music they sang, kind of some of the music that started coming into the church, because this was pre-Christian radio, was birthed out of that movement. And it was very convicting. It was very inspiring. It's a funny movie. And it was powerful because, I don't know, these people took risk, in their jobs or what people would think of them in their community and their culture, and went against the status quo to make room for a group of people that most people thought were hopeless and unreachable. Because the hippies were so involved in the drug culture and sex and, and God used very unlikely people to do the work too. He brought people together that you never thought could work together. So it was just a great movie. It was a fun movie too. It wasn't too serious or too, it was fun, but emotional too. I mean, we both got kind of emotional over it. So I highly recommend it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's also I'm a fan for this week, because Julie, you saw it on Friday night and I saw it on Sunday night. And it was I think pretty well sold out. I think even, getting tickets. I noticed that they even had a showing at 9:45 Sunday morning. So I think church groups could have gone together. But it's really good. And like you said, funny. And like a lot of the things that we take for granted really did come out of that movement. And it was just really interesting. You know, it said that the Jesus movement culminated in 1972, which was the year that I was born. But by that time, you know, it had swept across the nation. And I can remember, like, my parents were Catholic, but they converted to evangelical Christianity when I was little, like preschool age. And I would bet that some of that came from that movement. And I remember, I have only a few preschool memories, but I remember they had a Bible and it said, it was a paperback Bible and it said, "The Way" in bubble letters. And then it had the hippie faces in the bubble letters. And I feel like that Bible came out of that movement too. So it's just interesting, even just from a historical perspective, if you're our age or older, to go back and realize the different things that came out of that.
Yeah.
So highly recommended if you are thinking about going to see it. It would be appropriate, I think, really for all ages.
Well, my I'm a fan this week is going to be the Jesus Revolution movie.
Because you're going to go see it, right?
Because I'm going to go see it. And the reason that it's already my I'm a fan, first of all, there's nothing that I could say to that would be
a good I'm a fan after that.
Similar to, because this is amazing. And the reason that I'm already a fan is I saw the trailer and I was already excited to go. But this is talked about every place I go right now. Everyone's talking about it. And for that alone, I'm a huge fan. It has started conversations in places. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone is recommending it. It's all over my news feed. If it were on Instagram, I would buy it. Huge fan. Cannot wait to go see it.
All right. So we're all fans of the Jesus Revolution movie. We encourage listeners to go see it. It's really good. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
All right, Julie and Mindy, I enjoyed this conversation. It was fun. And I might just dare to buy something on Instagram this week. You never know.
Well, you're going to get some ads.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you next week.
Right, bye.
Bye. We're so happy you joined us today. You can find the show notes for this episode at midlifematterspodcast.com. Also, please tell a friend about the show and help them hit the free subscribe button on their favorite podcast app. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Midlife Matters Podcast. That's where we post pictures and stories about all the things we talk about in each episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.